What up? What up, my guys? Welcome to another show, man. NBA Talk with Jay Money and the Shark. We here. We're it's 2022. You dig what I'm saying? We're trying to get some cash, man. We always just here, just talk about life, talking about basketball. You know what I'm saying? Everything, lifestyle shit. What's up with you, Shark? Everything cool with you, my guy?
As you said, Happy New Year, Jan 1, 2022. I mean, I can't believe we're here. I really can't believe we're here. It's something that I disconnect with oftentimes in terms of energy and points, but coming back to the energy and point, Happy New Year, everybody in the chat. Bless you guys with the best possible energy. It's an amazing space to be in. It's awesome, and we're ready to dominate the NBA capping sphere. Jay Money, my man, legendary stuff as we're creating one of 365 as we stand right here, right now. Lead the way, please.
Yeah, it's all type of things going on as well, guys. We got NFL, we got the tail end of college football, college basketball, NBA, all this good stuff. What a time, right? What a time to be alive, man. But let's get straight to it, man. First game up, we're going to the streets. I got this Memphis play going, man. I hope y'all guys tell me on that. Hopefully we catch this Memphis play. Penny Hardaway getting the boys ready. But it's halftime right now. Let's go. But we got the Bucks. We're going to the streets of Milwaukee here, Shark. First game up, 6:30 Eastern. The first game of the day. We got a revenge game for the Bucks here, heading up to the house. Lions at 11.5 versus the Pelicans. A lot of question marks right now. We know that Valanciunas is out. Ingram's questionable with the Achilles. Josh Hart questionable. Devontae Graham as well. So a couple of starters for them. Chris Middleton out for sure for the Bucks. Obviously, hopefully no sketchiness with the Bucks here. What do you think, Shark? You think that they're coming to play full mindset with some revenge here? Could the Pelicans keep this game close again?
I think this is what we talk about all the time with the Bucks. These lines just hover in the zone. If anything I was going to look for here, it would be the over. I think these Bucks grease fire type of special games, and of course, calling the Pelicans a grease fire team is definitely disrespectful in this 2022 campaign. I love saying that. 2022 campaign. Amazing to say that. But I do think this could get more points than not. Definitely a no play for me, 6:30 p.m., obviously Pfizer Forum, NBA TV national game. I do think the line is sharp. We talk about this literally every single day. It's a coin flip line, but I think if you're going to sprinkle here, go over. Otherwise, stay off.
Exactly. Yeah. And so you see the last game as well, Shark. We got to talk about that. The last game, the line was at 214.5. Now they bring it up to this to 221 as well. So let me see, what was the final score? So then the last score, and it's crazy because the Pelicans will play a lot better defense as well at the house. On the road, they have to lean on their offense. So they lock up on defense at the house, things just to pay attention to the home road splits, right? Defense on the road is a lot worse. It was 116, 112, had to go to overtime in that one. So Will's an under game when overtime went over. The Pelicans beat them straight up. I'm with you on that. Heavy lean to the over in that one. We know that Middleton's out, but long as Giannis and Drew Holiday in this one, Grayson Allen, the rest of the guys, still no real center out there. DeMarcus Cousins. So in theory, should be some baskets for the Pelicans as well. Unfortunately, missing Valanciunas, but could see points galore here, guys. Definitely lean to the over. I had Bucks written down as a lean, my guys. Sketchy game. You're always worried about the motivation with the Bucks here and the guys on the injury report for the Pelicans, but could be revenge spices. As far as the total, I mean, the spread, I'm not playing this game. It's definitely a toss in that one. Lean to the over, my guy, Shark, in that one. Let's go to the streets of Detroit here, Shark. We go into the streets of Detroit. These guys are 7-point underdogs at the house. Unfortunately, like the Pistons are the worst team in the league, Shark. They are. Now, Lonnie Walker entered health and safety protocols for the Spurs, but now they got DeJounte Murray back. They're coming off a back-to-back game. They put up 144 versus this team the last time here, Shark. This is a game I'll definitely be looking at some props. You like anything in this one, my guy?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, in terms of this board is a difficult board. It is obviously January 1st. Not coincidentally necessarily. This is just an arbitrary board on suddenly not so casual Saturday. But I think the under here is actually an interesting point. Because I think when we look at the Spurs on the Pistons on an inflated total, you come back 224 coming down. I think you're an under, but of course these totals are razor sharp. I lost the total last night personally. I had 223.5. I texted Jay at 5 in the morning. I lost that by a hook, and I literally was hanging out with family and friends, and I went back and I was like, wait, 118, 105? Is that right? Did I actually lose that by a hook? I did. So it was actually horrendous. But this is a sharp line, but I think the under here is probably the better spot. So I think some of these actual line spots are just hovering in the middle of nowhere, and you're going to be gambling there. So just a no play, obviously 7 p.m. here. Little Caesars Center in Detroit, Michigan. Jay Money, keep talking.
Yeah, no, I'm with you on that, guys. Y'all know the deal. Sadiq Bey threes, man. I told you last time he's live. I think he hit 5 threes last time. So this time it's over 3.5. It is juiced up as well. Like the last time it was at 2.5. It's up to 3.5. Sadiq Bey, guys like Sadiq Bey, Diallo is the only thing that the Pistons have here, guys. So, and I'm with you with all of the offense that they're missing. This one has to go. It doesn't have to go under, but the Spurs, they're already on the back-to-back, right? So those shots likely be falling a little bit short. I always like to say that you may not get as much defense on the back-to-back, but now look at the Pistons here. The last time the Spurs put up 144 on y'all ass, it was 144 to 109 in that one. You got to come to play here with something. You got to have some type of pride, my guys. So what I had written down is a lean to the Pistons. I still lean that way, even though they're the worst, one of the worst teams in the league, missing a ton of guys. I still lean the Pistons at the house. They're the home dog, and they have the rest advantage. They didn't play yesterday, and the Spurs did with travel, and they got DeJounte Murray back. We don't know how rusty he'll look after being out for 7 days. And then they just lost Lonnie Walker and Doug McDermott. And it also, I feel like the defense will get better as well without McDermott out there, and the offense gets a little worse, guys. So I like that under, Shark. I'm be honest. I'm going to sprinkle some on that under 224. I like the spot, and in theory, the Pistons should come back. Hey, we just led up 144 versus these guys. We got to come back and play some type of defense, and they're at the house now. They was on the road, so now you get an environmental shift. Wouldn't be a bit surprised to see the Pistons cover this game and it go under, my guys. I'm gonna sprinkle on that under 224. I know the pace has been there with the Spurs, but as we saw last night, they're starting to slow it down at least a tad, my guys. My guy in the chat says under will hit. Let's go under 224. Let's fucking go, my guys. Let's go straight to the streets of Washington here, Washington D.C. You dig what I'm saying? You got to look at Bill in this one, guys. You got to look at Bill, points, rebounds, assists. What I saw from Bill in the last game, he's come back. He sat out a few games, or whatever is back, or some shit like that. Regardless, he's healthy right now. He looks energized. I'm talking about, and Dinwiddie's out as well, so the usage rate's going up. Bill is basically the point guard. He's scoring. He's feeding as well, guys. I'm telling you this. Bill, watch him today. That doesn't necessarily mean that the Wizards will come out with a win here, Shark. We know the Bulls been red hot. DeRozan with a game. They deserved to lose yesterday, Shark. We have to talk about that. The Bulls have been teetering on a loss here. What are you doing? I got the Wizards lean for me, my guy. What are we doing?
Yeah, I mean, I've been talking about this for a month. The Wizards' point per game differential being horrendous. However, certain statistics move in the opposite direction. We were talking about this in terms of line functionality as well. We've seen a lot of these bloated totals come the opposite direction. And of course, I don't want to lead you guys astray in the chat. A lot of guys do tell my general ideology in terms of sports betting. We do adjust, and the market has shifted 100%. 100% it has shifted. And we have to just take account for that. And we have to move our point to not any sort of past action, just centered here right now. We're in a different environment. And of course, Jay's obviously one of the sharpest guys I've ever talked to in my life. A lot of these spots now are going to start hitting because we're in such a great numerical environment with exploitability. And when you look at this, I mean, obviously, this is just a tough spot for the Bulls. Bulls on a 3rd and 4th back-to-back, road off a divisional loss, or excuse me, a win. DeMar DeRozan, obviously, buzzer beater, whatever. Of course, we suggested last night it would be razor sharp. It was razor sharp. It was right.
Pacers covered. And the Pacers
did cover. So we called it sharp line, Pacers lean, whatever. Coming in here now, you got Chicago -2, 219.5. I would go over here. This is another point. Totals. I think totals have more exploitability on these sharp lines because -2 in the NBA is generally razor sharp. I think we're going to see more points here. I think lacking of defense on a back end of a back-to-back and a fatigue spot, the defense wanes out. I think Washington, obviously coming off, as you said, Bradley Beal is trying to score the basketball, trying to run the pace. I think more points. The best look for me here is over 219.5.
I love Bills. His points is at 27. I like the points, rebounds, assists even more, guys. He's the point. He's the facilitator, and he's the best scorer on the team. That was his first game back last game, and he looked in rhythm. I mean, picture now even having a game under his belt. I won't be a bit surprised, see, because obviously like DeRozan and Levine, I feel like Bill knows he has to show up here. He knows that these guys have been balling out of control. Javonte Green, one of their guys, one of their starters, defensive guys as well. He's out as well for the Bulls. So literally, the Bulls' top 4 or 5 perimeter defenders are out. Caruso, Derrick Jones Jr., Green, Patrick Williams. See what I'm saying? So they're starting to lose some defenders over there. I'll be honest, the Bulls are on the high right now. They're one of the best teams over there in the East, and they just play so hard, so well balanced. But I do think that the Wizards could catch them here in a good spot. You see, they're starting to play a lot better as well. Covered 4 of the last 5 against the spread. Beat the shit out of the Cavs, guys. I know a lot of people's on the Cavs. Wizards smacked them up. That was without Dinwiddie. Kuzma starting the ball as well, guys. Might want to look at some Kuzma problems, but I'm definitely taking Bradley Beal over 39 points, rebounds, assists in this one, guys. They said Murray's out. They say Murray, no DeJounte Murray. The game is going under. The game is going under. I may take Pistons. I can't tell. The Pit. It's Pistons or nothing in that one. They just lost 3 players basically because DeJounte Murray's supposed to come back today.
Yeah. And we can't just autopilot take a total because a player's out. We always talk about this. Like the line speaks. Like books would adjust. The secondary players have better flow oftentimes without guys that have big usage rates and whatever. But not going to comment.
DeJounte Murray has been out though.
No, I know.
He's supposed to come back today.
No,
so
I know.
Him being out is just they're just saying conditioning that he's not playing. He was supposed to be probable. Now he's not.
Yeah, no, and of course we're going back to a different game, obviously. But let's center on this one. We keep going here.
Yeah, no, Wizards. I like a heavy lean to Wizards, and I'm taking Bradley Beal points, rebounds, assists over 39. You like anything else in this one?
I just think the over is the best look. I might sprinkle a half unit on that actually. Personally, now I'm thinking about Saturday 1:13 p.m. here, January 1. Wow, are we here? We are here. God damn it, it's a beautiful thing. But,
yeah, heavy lean to Wizards for me. My guy liking the over in that one, and I'm taking Bradley Beal over 39 points, rebounds, assists, guys. I sense a different energy from him. He's balling. He's the main facilitator. Bradley Beal may go out for a triple double in this one, my guys. Regardless, I like what I'm seeing from Beal. They don't have Dinwiddie right now. They don't have Aaron Holiday as well. He is the main point guard, making behind the back passes, all this shit. Let's watch the game. Let's see what happens. I like Beals going bunkers in this one, heavy lean to Wizards. Let's go to the next game here. We got the Nets, my guy Shark. Me and my guy Shark was talking about this game before. I'll be honest, I have the Nets down as a lean. The Clippers not necessarily in a good spot, especially coming from Toronto as well. I had to scratch the lean now, guys. I'm sorry. I'm not letting this point spread with the Nets. Simple put, they're 5-12 against the spread at the house. For some reason, they really turn up on the road. James Harden, the day after New Year's Eve. Do I want to trust them? No, I do not, my guys. So I understand. I know it's high for a reason. It's in theory a revenge spot for the Clippers. We're down to a bunch of guys. It's a tough spot, man. It is. Shark, what are you thinking of this one?
Yeah, I mean, I think the first thing you look at is the line. The line is egregious. It is extremely bloated. And we got to talk about over-adjustment. I don't know if this is over-adjustment here. I think this could be just a Nets blowout. I think this is just one of those spots where, again, it's kind of like when you were talking about OKC going into Phoenix on a 14 and a half. And they did get there, but they got there on a close margin. I think this will be a close margin, but I think if you're gambling on this spread, you want to lay it with the chalk here. I think your most exploitable points here are within quarters and halves. And I think when you look at what happened last night, the Clippers came out with energy in the first half against the Toronto Raptors, which was, of course, a great spot theoretically. We said this on the air. It probably would come late. A Toronto Raptors team that was off a layover with their players and blah, blah, blah. I think that reverses. I think the best spot here is probably Brooklyn first half. I think Clippers will come in here trying to reserve energy, thinking we want to win late, and then it'll come late. So I think the best spot here is Brooklyn first half, unofficial, but I think that's definitely the lead.
Yeah, and that's not a bad look as well, because obviously if they're up, I mean, you could take the Clippers in the second half, possibly even get a better number, regardless, even if they're getting smacked up, right? And this is the thing that's holding me off the Clippers. They are 0-6 against the spread in back-to-backs this year, guys. So when I have a stat like that, a lot of people don't really care for trends. Some trends matter especially like it's like looking at a team going to Utah or something. They don't play well in altitude, or if they're on a back-to-back, they've been terrible in back-to-backs. That means don't bet them in that spot. So things are due to flip at some point, and they don't have their head coach right now as well. They don't have Tyronn Lue. So that's another reason why I'm not on the Clips. You could think that the backup coach say, look, Lue's been losing these back-to-backs. I want to come in here and get a win. They do have revenge. I still lean the Clippers here, but there's just no way I'm betting this game. I think this is not the point spread that I want to take the Nets. If it's 8 -9 or something like that, maybe. But asking them to come in here and win by a 15-point blowout, it's not something I want to do. James Harden, maybe did he party a little bit too much last night? We never know. We know that KD, they're going to be pissed after coming back in the next game. I don't think that they don't necessarily have that killer instinct at the house, guys. They get up 20. We even see them do it versus teams like the Magic. Get up big, and then they piss it away and just happy with the win, right? They don't care about covering games for us. They just want to get the win. They're at the house. It's a terrible spot for the Clippers, but it's the only way I could look. I'm not betting the Nets in this point spread range, and I can't take the Clippers on the back-to-back, guys. Go to the streets of Houston here, Shark. I noticed something with the Rockets last night, guys. Like they lost to a depleted Heat team. I've noticed something. Like this team, I don't know if they like playing with Kevin Porter Jr. or Jalen Green here, Shark. I want to take the Nuggets. Motivation always so sketchy. I think the over is a better look here, Shark. Talk me on.
I can't. I said it yesterday. Houston clusters. And of course, the cluster has to start in a different direction. I think Houston, when we look back, I would say go back into the middle of July, we'll look back in the season, we'll be like, that was interesting how that flowed in that sequence. But I do think that Houston at some point in time will win probably 5 in a row. And we'll get on that train and we'll ride that. I don't know if it comes here on a 3rd and 4th back-to-back off really a tough spot. And I made a comment to my guy who said that he was putting his mortgage on Miami last night, -4.5, lock in the century. I said, you're not going to pay for New Year's? You paid for New Year's, and now you're in Dubai drinking champagne on the rocks right now because it was so goddamn pure. And the thing is, we have to ask ourselves a question. How pure can it continue to be? The Nuggets come in here on a 6.5. 6.5, I would say 3 to 4 possession spread, super close. I think this is very razor sharp. I think the Rockets have to turn up at some point. Nuggets uninspired spot, just a tough play for me, really.
Yeah, my thing is with the Nuggets, guys, they should smack them up here. In theory, they are rested as well. Unfortunately, this team's motivation is just not always there. They're literally one of the most up and down teams. I do think like before we get to the playoffs, they'll really try to kick it into another gear. But I think this team has figured out it doesn't matter what happens in the regular season. They can have number 2, number 3 seed. Like, unfortunately, a lot of people are starting to figure that out. Maybe not the Warriors. They go hard every game. But the Nuggets just like, we kind of just going to coast, like the whole Trae Young thing. We're just going to coast this regular season, turn up late, no matter what seed we get. We'll try to get somewhere 1 through 6, stay out of play-in tournament, and then really turn up in the playoffs because there's still a couple of road games. They know that's what matters. I'd like to take Denver here. Unfortunately, the motivation is always sketchy. I do think the over is a better look, though, guys. Since Nuggets are nothing for me here, the last game, the Rockets kept up with them. They were 11.5-point underdogs in Denver. The game ended 95-94. That total was 215. Now you see it jump up in this one. After ended 95-94, you see it jump up to 224. I think the bookmakers tell you that this pace and the scoring is going to be a lot higher in this one. Rockets on the back-to-back as well, even less defense than they already played. They look to only score the ball, guys. This game's going over. I think it's touching 230 simple in this one, Shark. What do you think about that? Just last thing on this one, coming up from the 215 up to 224 after it was 95-94 final.
I think that's a great point, actually. I think the top 2 looks on the entire board are that over and the Washington-Chicago over. I think they're both going to skyrocket. We always talk about psychology to a certain degree. New Year's Day, who knows what these guys did last night. Defense will wane, but pressure on the offensive court will be right there. So I think it's a great look. 100%.
Yeah, I'm with you. Over. Hey, I like the Spurs and the Pistons under. This Nuggets and Rockets over. Beal points, rebounds, assists. What are we doing here, my guys?
I think totals on this board today could be the best looks.
Is the look
totals
right?
And quarters. It's a tough board, six pack or 6-pack. I think totals are the best look. I think you guys we got to adjust.
Pack of what?
We got to adjust the market.
6-pack of what?
Well, I mean, there's some access points over here. There might be some life coaching coming on Twitter soon. I'm actually fiending a nice little brew. I have one over here. It's a beautiful endeavor to be conquered. But that'll be said. This show takes precedence over everything. And, Jay called me yesterday and said to me, "You're not going to come on, Shark? You're not going to come on with me?" And I was like, you know what? If I'm not going to come on, I would actually question my own sanity. So it's for our chat. It's for our people. It's for the abundance and the quotient of our decency as people. We have to do it. And we love you guys so much. In the chat, please engage more. I know we get 550, 700 people. Chat with the people. The casual watcher, the guy that sits behind, trust me, I am that guy oftentimes in my life in terms of certain content. We see you because you don't have to be in the chat. You don't have to be the loudest man. We see you watching us, and the guy sitting behind the closed doors just watching, you're the power. And we appreciate you so much. And I'm talking to you, whoever you are, because I know there's 550 of them right now. We see you because you don't have to be loud. You don't have to be in the chat. Just listen and be dominant in your life. And we appreciate you. We spread all the power to you. And continue on that. Nuggets at Rockets over and one nightcap NBA TV. Jazz Warriors, the premier play of the day. Jay Money, let's go.
Let's go, bro. I appreciate you for saying that. Everybody in the chat as well, man. Hey, hit the like button, subscribe. We do this for you guys, man. Obviously, we could just make our plays and go into a hole or something, but we come on live. We want to spread the love, right? My guy said Shark paid my rent this summer, man. Hit the like button. You see what I'm saying? Hit the like button. It's my guy Shark, man. I appreciate you guys. We're giving out free plays, right? You see what I'm saying? Let's get to it, man. We got the Jazz here versus the Warriors here. Shark line up at 5. It's down to 4.5. The Jazz have been red hot, I must say. Not ATS, but they've been winning some games, winning 6 straight games. You take a look at it, hadn't really been covering the spreads though. 1-0, they're 1-6-1 against the spread last 8 games, my guys. And the spread, and we see last night as well. I'm telling my guys, I say the Jazz had to win 2 games last night. They were up big versus the Timberwolves. Then they lost the lead. Literally was down 1 point. Then they proceeded to go on another 18-0 run. It's like playing 2 separate games. And another thing, they've been doing all this moving around with the rosters as well. We're Sidney Conley, we're sitting Donovan Mitchell. Oh, now Ingles out as well. So they'll likely have a full roster today, getting ready for this Warriors. But they still on the back-to-back. They still at a rest disadvantage. Warriors basically healthy, other than having Draymond Green out here, Shark. At least they have 1 game under their belt to see how they play without Draymond. I used to give Kerr a lot of flack, but I do think he's not that bad of a coach. And we'll look at the film. Where are we missing Draymond? What do we need to do? I think Juan Toscano or Anderson will be a mini Draymond tonight, like the Warriors here, plus the 4.5, possibly win this game here, Shark. I think the defense, they'll lean on the defense tonight, Shark.
Yeah, I honestly can't drop an official here. I'm obviously a little bit clustered on the Jazz. We talked about the other night with Portland, and the Jazz did clean them up on a good number. I think the number does matter here. I think it could be close. I think it could go that direction. I think obviously when you're fading a team that was so clustered in the wrong direction, ATS, as you said, 1-7-1. They were 0-6 for a period. They should theoretically cluster in the other direction. And if you look at the Jazz non-covers, they were by a bucket mostly. There were 3 or 4 just by a bucket late. And I think the bucket late on big spreads is not applicable to really a playoff. We're talking like potentially Western Conference Finals style of game. That all being said, my guy is Steph Curry. I think he's an assassin for greatness. I love watching him play basketball. I love Klay Thompson. Draymond Green out of the lineup, of course. That was growing pains, as Jay said. I can't take an official here. I would not disagree, Jay. I'm going to put on the fucking hat.
Put the hat on for me. Put the hat on for me, my guy. Yeah, it's not a. I'll be honest with you guys. I'm going small in this play, but I still like the Warriors. I don't care if it's a small play or if it's big, regardless. You know what I'm saying? I'm always trying to cast.
Put the hat on.
Put the hat on, my guy.
Good vibes only. We love.
I'm gonna tell you why I like the Warriors, guys. Because you know how you beat the Jazz. You beat them with defense. The Jazz are a 3-point shooting team. Now, what I'm noticing, they got pulled back, they got Wiggins back. I think this game is bigger than Draymond, right? You see what I'm saying? Now, I'm not dumb. I told you this last game. They will miss Draymond Green. He's their best defender. He's their best ball screener as well. And the offense does run a little bit differently without him. But as I said, they have one game and film without them having Draymond out there. You see what I'm saying? And they're going up against a Jazz team that did play last night as well. What happens when you play the night before? The energy is mixed up. So don't get it twisted. The Jazz can still smack them up here, but while we always talk about the rest advantage, because it's about the energy that you're bringing into the game. It's about the fatigue that could possibly set in, right? So I know that the Jazz will be turned up, but still the Warriors are still the more rested team. They're catching points here. And other than Draymond, I do think they have the tools to win this game. What do the Jazz do? They're running heavy guards with Conley, Mitchell, Bogdanovich, obviously always open to hit some threes. Curry, Poole, Wiggins. They can match up against those guys. As long as you guard the three-point line, you can beat the Jazz. I think the Warriors' defense is the what I'm leaning on here, and the bench play, guys. The bench is, I'm not going to say light years better, but their bench can hold down and can outscore the Jazz bench. Otto Porter Jr., Iguodala, Abilicia, Gary Payton II. Like, what are we doing here? I'm putting Gary Payton II on Clarkson. He's going to lock him up. It's simple, guys. So I think this is one where the Warriors have the better defense. What they're showing around, guys, Shark, they're showing the lead. They're not fucking around this year. They're close, very close to getting Klay Thompson back. These are one of those benchmark type of games. All right, y'all don't think we can win without Draymond? Bounce back game as well, Shark. What do you think? I'm going to give you the stats on the Warriors after a loss.
Yeah, I mean, just continuing on that, when we were in the offseason, you were doing a show. Remember, I came on there, and I said the Warriors are going to turn the hell up this year. And I said this back in August, and I just knew Steph Curry and these guys were focused, committed, ultimate. That's something I say to myself, focused, committed, ultimate. And they just want to dominate. And that's rare in an NBA regular season. But you have to remember, when the Dubs were winning titles, going back before Kevin Durant, they did dominate the regular season, and then they went into the playoffs. They weren't a coast regular season team. They went through it, and they really turned up. And you see Steph Curry. We talk about Trae Young's awful body language. Steph Curry has the polar opposite body language. He has amazing body language. When you watch Steph Curry, you want to go work out yourself. He's just super hyped. He's live as fuck. He's draining threes. He's all over the grid. He's just an awesome guy. Like, you can't dislike this guy. And I think, again, like, one of the integral points to not taking the Jazz here is just that fact. Steph Curry will turn up against you at all points in time, and he will not lay off, period.
Yeah, Warriors 5-1, best team in the league, 5-1 against the spread, guys. When the Warriors are coming off a loss, I want to take them. It's simple. I want to buy them in the next game. They may not have lost two back-to-back games all year, but especially still, regardless, they're the best team in the league off a loss. Yeah, only one time. Obviously, if they're 5-1 off a loss, then only one time losing back-to-back. Anything can happen, guys. But I do think this is the better defensive team. They're rested. They have the rest advantage and the better defensive squad, guys, the better bench, all this. So I do think that they can match up with them without Draymond Green. Obviously, Looney, we're going to need Looney to be big versus Gobert, guys. I'll tell you right now, I'm going half unit on the Warriors, but I don't mind going official. Give it to me plus 4.5. I'm also taking the we'll recap it real quick, Shark, but you like it? Just tell them the lean, Shark. What are we doing?
I think the top leans are totals on this board, and I think it's an over in the Chicago game, 219.5. I think that game will track me. You get Washington coming off Beal game 2, Chicago on a 3rd and 4 back-to-back. I think they want to run. I think they want to pace. That would be my top look at the entire board. And, of course, we look at Brooklyn. Obviously, I think there's definitely a flip point where Clippers came out well yesterday, qualifier, because Toronto had not played with that group for a week. They came out flat. They tanked the first half. I think this could be a Brooklyn first half spot, but I think the top spot on the board, I might make this official. I will post on Twitter, of course. Follow me on Twitter if you guys have the ability to click 2 buttons in your life. I know it's a treacherous endeavor, but there's an ability to do it. I think the top look would probably be the over in the Washington game. And
I'm with.
Close them out.
Yeah, let's get some cash, bro. My guy in the chat said, bet the rested team tonight. You could make money. Excuse me. betting the NBA just simply not simply taking the rest advantage, but you find your spots. Just know that the more rested teams they'll have more energy in the game, guys. It's simple. Like they literally did some articles on this a few years ago. That rest advantage and like getting sleep is actually pretty fucking key with playing all of these games in a close sample in a season, guys. So rest advantage is actually pretty huge here. That leads me to say that I have a heavy lean to the Pistons, guys. I didn't bet it. They're the worst team in the league, but they did just give up 144 versus Spurs, and they're traveling from Memphis up to Detroit. It's not a good spot to be laying the points with the Spurs without arguing three of their better players, my guys, in that one. So I'm taking the under. I'm taking the under in the these are I'm gonna go half unit on these guys, but I still like the plays. I'm always trying to cash. I don't care if it's 1/10 of a unit. I'm taking the Spurs and Pistons under 224. Heavy lean to the Pistons plus the 7 down to 6.5 now. I'm taking Bradley Beal over 39 points, rebounds, assists, guys. Heavy lean to the Wizards, but I think even if they lose, Beal is going bunkers in this one. The usage rate is sky high right now, and he's feeling a different type of energy, and so am I. I'm with Beal. You dig what I'm saying? A heavy lean to the Nuggets, minus 7-0, and I'm always tripped out about their motivation. It's always super sketchy, and they could backdoor as well. They always piss away games. Over 224. I'm taking that for a half unit, my guys. Final play of the day, late night special, rest advantage. The dog, the better defensive team. I'm taking the Warriors. The Warriors come out and play. The buy chains are engaged. The buy socks are engaged. Give me Warriors plus 4.5. My guy Shark has the hat on as well. 4 plays for me, all half unit. Warriors plus 4.5. Nuggets, Rockets over 224. Spurs, Pistons under 224. Bradley Beal over 39 points, rebounds, assists. Let's fucking go, my guys. I appreciate the hell out of you guys watching. Go and follow my guy on Twitter right now at Sharks and Sports. You can follow me as well at J Money's Money. Let's get some cash, my guys. I'll be tweeting out more college basketball plays as well. Let's get to it, my guys. Happy New Year, 2020.